So which one is the best vlogging camera for 2024? Is it the Sony ZV1 Mark II or the DJI Osmo Pocket 3? Let's find out. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on my channel. I'm Photorabs. I do videos about photography, filmmaking, camera tech related reviews, unboxings, action cams, vlogging kits and so on. If you're interested in these topics, I highly appreciate if you go subscribe to my channel. That's a massive help. And I decided in today's video to compare this DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and the Sony ZV1 Mark II in a head-to-head comparison in a vlogging scenario, because the Sony ZV1 Mark II is a vlogging camera as well as the Osmo Pocket 3, but Sony France and Digitphoto, they sent me the Sony ZV1 Mark II on a loan to try it because I wanted the camera to be my main camera for my top-down shots in my home studio videos, so they were so kind to send me this one to try it out. But since these two cameras are vlogging cameras, let's try them out in this video. These two cameras are vlogging cameras. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is about 679 euros in the creator combo kit. You get the camera, the wide lens, the cover, the extended battery, and this DJI Mic 2, the wireless microphone, 32-bit float. While the Sony ZV1 Mark II is about 800 euros. You get one single battery, which is not so big. I can say it can last maybe 1 hour or so. You get the wind muff for the microphone and the camera, of course, and that's it for 800 euros. So we have a significant price difference between these two cameras. Maybe the Sony ZV1 is a good fit for some of you, maybe the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Let me know which one you prefer in the comment section below. And now let's talk a little bit about the vlogging capabilities of these two cameras, because they are both dedicated for vloggers, for content creators. Both of these two cameras are dedicated for vloggers, and that's why I'm doing this comparison today. They both have 1-inch CMOS sensor, so the image quality should be comparable between these two cameras. Let me know what do you think about that in the comment section below. And we need zero knowledge in filmmaking and videography to use these cameras in a proper way. That's why so far I'm filming this video in automatic mode, full automatic mode on these two cameras since the intro till now. But in the next section I will jump to my preferable vlogging scenario settings: 4K 25 frames per second, 16:9, shutter speed 1/50, aperture 1.8 on the Sony ZV1 Mark II, and 2.0 we cannot change the aperture on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. And I will adjust the ISO accordingly to the scenario, to the situation, as well as I will use the auto white balance on these two cameras, because I believe that auto white balance now has become a great feature on new cameras. The cameras can manage the auto white balance very well. In my opinion, we don't have that much difference between one section of the video and the other section if we have some slight changes in the light around. So let's see how these two cameras can perform. So let's talk now about the main differences of these two cameras. On the Sony ZV1 Mark II we have a zoom lens from 18mm to 50mm, the aperture from 1.8 to f4, so we have about 2.3 stops of light that we lose when we zoom from 18mm to 50mm. The lens is not optically stabilized, so we have the electronic stabilization on the Sony ZV1 Mark II. So we have a crop factor, of course, that goes from 18mm to 23mm if the active stab is on. This is not a huge crop, but it's very significant. So if you want to use a wide angle lens for your vlogs, you cannot do this with the Sony ZV1 Mark II unless you have a gimbal with you, because the 18mm, which is a good focal length for vlogging, becomes 23mm if active stab is on. On the other hand, the DJI Pocket 3 does not have optical zoom. We have only digital zoom twice. We do not have variable aperture. We have an aperture set to f2.0 always on this camera. We cannot change it, and that's something that is good for vlogging but not always good for some cinematic shots, I believe. We do not have the electronic stabilization on the Pocket 3. We have only the mechanical stabilization, which is a great feature on this one. That means that this camera will perform better in low light scenarios because we have this mechanical gimbal and not the electronic stabilization on this camera, especially if you are shooting in low light scenarios at shutter speed 1/50th of the second. I'm sure that the Pocket 3 will perform much better than the Sony ZV1 Mark II. The lens on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is 20mm equivalent in full frame, which is a bit tighter than the 18mm of the Sony ZV1 Mark II, but we do not have any crop because we have the mechanical gimbal, while on the Sony ZV1 Mark II we have 23mm equivalent if you use the active stab of the Sony. So now I'm using these two cameras. I have the 20mm on the Pocket 3 and the 23mm on the Sony ZV1 Mark II. So let me know if the images of the Sony are as stabilized as the images from the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Although both of these two cameras can take photos and great images with these two cameras, the form factor of the Sony ZV1 is more photography friendly than the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I think it's really easy to take photos with the Sony, especially that we have the 18 to 50mm zoom, optical zoom on the Sony that we do not have at all on the DJI Pocket 3. But on both cameras we can get some great photos, some great images out of these two cameras. We can shoot in RAW on both of these two cameras, and that's something great. If you are familiar with shooting with the Pocket 3, with the Pocket series, then you can take photos with it. For me personally, I don't find the form factor of the Pocket 3 suitable for photography. On the other hand, we have a 3-inch fully articulated touchscreen on the Sony ZV1 Mark II that makes it easy to view, to compose your shot. On the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, we have only 2-inch screen. It's not fully articulated, but you don't need it to be fully articulated because you can rotate the head of the gimbal, the camera, to the side that you want, whether front facing or back facing. So you can do this with the Pocket 3 and you cannot do this with the Sony ZV1. That's why having a fully articulated screen is a must on such small and compact cameras from Sony, and that's something that I really like. On the other side, we have a big difference in the weight of these two cameras, 179 grams I believe for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and 292 grams probably for the Sony ZV1 Mark II. So it's not heavy, but it's much heavier than the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and that's really noticeable, especially if you would like to stabilize your footages mechanically. So you need to carry with you a gimbal that makes it even heavier than the Osmo Pocket 3. Both cameras are really compact, are really pocket-sized cameras. You can fit them in a fairly large pockets like my jacket here. They can fit perfectly. I don't need such small bags here. I have this one from Yolansi, by the way, so I don't need this to pack these cameras. I can put them in my pockets. So if packing these cameras is of a big interest for you, these two cameras are really small, really compact, and the weight difference between these two cameras, even though it's significant when we compare them head to head, but if you have only the Sony ZV1 Mark II in your pocket, you will not feel the weight at all. The same goes for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. On the video side mode, both cameras can shoot in log profile. We have dedicated log profiles on both of these two cameras. The big advantage of the Pocket 3 compared to the Sony ZV1 is that we can shoot in 10-bit also. On the Sony ZV1 we are limited to 8-bit, but for vlogs, do we really need 10 bits? Even if 10-bit we have much more colors, much more gradients of colors in our footages compared to the Sony ZV1 Mark II that has only 8-bit colors. But do we really need this? That means that if we will use the 10-bit color, if we use the log profiles, we will pass more time to color grade, to correct the images, to adjust the lighting of the images and the colors. But do we really need this for vlogs? I think that if we can have a camera that can give us directly some nice footages, some nice colors directly out of the camera, that would be of a big help, especially for vlogs and for beginners in vlogging in 2024. And add to that, do you watch YouTube videos on your huge screens at home? Personally, I don't. I watch YouTube videos on my smartphone, on my tablet, on my computer probably, but not on my huge 65-inch 4K screen that I have at home. So the 8-bit and the 10 bits is not of a big importance for me. And to add another layer on this topic, YouTube will compress your videos if they are 10 bits to make them 8 bits to be available on YouTube, to be posted on YouTube. So if you shoot in 10-bit and then you compress your footages, of course you can have a better image quality. Then you can compress it to have a slightly better image quality when it goes to 8-bit. But do we see any difference when we are watching the videos? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now the Sony ZV1 is recording at 8 bits while the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is at 10 bits. So you have a clear difference now. Which one you think is better? Which one has a better color representation? Let me know that in the comment section below. Both cameras have great built-in microphones. I remember on the Sony ZV1, the first generation, I was really impressed by the microphone. On this one, on the second generation, the microphone I think is slightly better as well. On the Pocket 3 we have great built-in microphone, but we have also this DJI Mic 2, the wireless microphone, the 32-bit float, which is a game changer for vloggers and content creators, because we can now talk very loudly and then we can reduce the vocals a little bit, and then we can always have great audio coming out from this microphone. I tried it out last time. I was making a vlog and it was really windy, and this microphone did not pick up the wind at all, and that was for me mind-blowing. That was a great thing that I'm really satisfied with this DJI Mic 2. And since these two cameras are dedicated for vloggers and content creators, we have the product showcase mode. This is the Sony ZV1 Mark II and now the DJI Pocket 3. The autofocus is very reliable, very accurate, very fast. I'm really surprised with how this technology has become. Recently, we have a great autofocus improvement on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 compared to the other cameras from DJI, and we have an amazing and incredible autofocus on the Sony ZV1 Mark II. And I think that the Sony is the best camera out there that has this great autofocus. All the other brands are trying to copy Sony in autofocus, but Sony will always be the leader in autofocus in my opinion. On the other hand, we have the tracking feature on the DJI Pocket 3 that we do not have on the Sony ZV1, and that's really obvious, but we can get the Hohem iSteady MT2. I reviewed this gimbal on my channel before. You can go check it out and you can have a discount on that gimbal. And it has the AI tracking feature, an AI unit that you can plug onto your MT2, your Hohem iSteady MT2, and you can get the tracking capabilities with the Sony ZV1, and then you can remove the active stabilization from your camera and get back the 18mm field of view with the Sony ZV1. But the tracking on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is very amazing. It's so amazing. It's very nice. I really like it. So it looks like you have your own cameraman with you when you are filming, when you are doing your vlogs, although the camera is on a tripod and it's following me. And that's something that you cannot achieve at all with the Sony ZV1 without the Hohem iSteady MT2. For me, I prefer the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 much more than the Sony ZV1 Mark II for vlogs, mainly because we have the mechanical stabilization, we have the AI tracking, we have this DJI Mic 2, and the smaller compact form of the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 makes you vlog somehow incognito compared to the typical form factor of a normal camera from the Sony ZV1 Mark II. So that's why I think that for me, I'll go with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Both of these two cameras are not weather sealed, so make sure not to use them under the rain or in wet situations. Don't use them in such scenarios unless you have the Carry Fresh, for example, from DJI. That means they can change your camera for free and you pay maybe 35 euros for changing the camera completely and getting a new one. And that's something that is really important if you would like to vlog under the rain, for example, or if you'd like to use your camera under the rain. So for me, the DJI Pocket 3 is the best vlogging camera compared to the Sony ZV1 Mark II. We don't know what the 2024 will bring us. Maybe we'll have some other compact cameras dedicated for vloggers. So let me know if you have, or if you heard some rumors about the other cameras coming up in 2024. So that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what do you think about these two cameras, which one you have or which one you would like to buy for 2024 to start your journey as a content creator and as a vlogger, whether on YouTube or on any other platform. By the way, I have lots of affiliate links in the description below. I highly appreciate if you go check them. If you buy from my affiliate links, you can save some money and you can help my channel a lot. And don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel. That's a big help as well. And see you on another one. Ciao for now.